Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny and Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. Today, we're going to be talking to you about a $250 billion market cap plus company. They are yielding over 3.3%. In fact, it's almost at 3.4%. They have some
Well,
of the most famous brands in the
the
world.
most electrifying brands.
Yeah, the most electrifying brand, and they are number 50 on the top on the Fortune worldwide companies list. Guys, buckle up. We have a fantastic dividend stock to talk to you about today.
Let's buckle up, guys, and smash that subscribe button. Give us a nice thumbs up. Get us to 20,000 subscribers. Why? Because we bring you videos on Monday, on Tuesday, on Thursday, on Saturday, on Sunday. We are bringing it to you guys 5 days a week. Let us know if your other dividend investors are bringing you this much content this often, guys. Wow, Bert, a big top 50 company here, a company that I know you partake in on a
Mhm.
item or two here on their product list. I know that for certain, and I'm
Oh,
guilty as charged as well on a few of these items.
absolutely right. So we are talking today about Nestle, ticker symbol NSGRY. Why are we talking about Nestle? Again, they are down 16% year to
It's
date.
not delivery, it's
Down.
DiGiorno.
Yeah, they're down 17.56% over the last 52 weeks. So they are getting crushed right now with so many of the other great consumer staple stocks. Let's talk about the brand since Lenny already talked about it. DiGiorno. Love DiGiorno frozen pizzas. They are fantastic. There's something about a DiGiorno that's fantastic. So whenever you see
Bert
them on
loves it.
special, you know we're stocking up the freezer for them too. But it
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
just
they're not they're not near the top. They're probably in like the mid section on the frozen pizzas for me.
so I said the price has got to be right. When the price is right, the DiGiorno tastes that much better. They also got the Stouffer's. Stouffer's, which was a long time ago, a huge Cleveland company that was acquired by them. Stouffer's, has got the mac and cheese. They got their own flatbread pizza. They got all the
Oh,
frozen foods, all
oh,
the
do they? Those French
frozen.
bread pizzas, bring them on, baby.
Yeah, it's a back to my childhood, taking
If
us
you
back.
didn't burn your mouth on one of those, you should stop watching the video.
Yeah, and if you say you didn't burn your mouth, you're lying because every single person who had a Stouffer's French bread pizza burned the
I
top of
think
it.
I still have the scars on the top, man.
Yes, but it doesn't stop there. It's not just food, it's coffee too. Seattle's Best. We were just talking about them here. They acquired Seattle's Best coffee from Starbucks back in 2022. It doesn't end at just Seattle's Best, though. They acquired the distribution rights to Starbucks too for all this. So every time you see Starbucks on the shelves, distributed by Nestle. They are huge in that spread. And what about Lanny? You have some one of their coffee products too that I haven't covered yet, right?
We got a little, well, you got the instant coffee there. You got the Seattle's Best. I was pretty shocked to, Bert mentioned that they kind of Starbucks sold off Seattle's Best about 2 years ago. You got the Pellegrino here with Nestle. Oh boy, the
Yeah.
Perrier
Yeah.
with Nestle as well, guys. I mean,
It's huge.
let's just say that
Oh,
this thing packs, quite the list here. Obviously, Gerber baby food. You get the Boost, the
we haven't.
breakfast, essentials drinks. So you're stacking brands here.
We've also just talked people food. Don't forget about Purina, like pet food too.
It's people food, right?
Yeah. Depends how bad you want financial freedom. That's the
Yeah,
question.
whatever it takes. Whatever.
Purina, yeah. So I mean, it's massive here. So let's look through some financials here. Let's go through what's gone on over the last 5 years. Let's just throw some numbers out there. Revenue as of the last fiscal year end from Seeking Alpha, November 2023, $110 billion. That's up from $95 billion in 2019. So they've grown that top line by 15 billion, gross margin 51 and a half, or just a little over 51 billion. My apologies, everyone. Up from 47.76%. So you're seeing a slight shrinkage here in gross margin here, where it was 46% this year, down from nearly 50% 5 years ago. So you're seeing a tightening, which shouldn't be surprising because of all the rising costs we've experienced over the last few years.
13 billion though in net income as of the fiscal year November of 23, about the same from 2019. So no real growth on the net income. So they're growing the top line, but just haven't figured out the bottom line quite yet. And Bert and I, we were just talking over that time period as well. They're definitely almost tripling on their long-term debt. going from 21 billion to over 52 billion, probably to help fund some of these acquisitions.
Yeah, so that's the one funniest trend about them. And you see this come through in their last earnings release, their semi-annual earnings. So they're international. They don't have to do the quarterly, they do it semi-annually. Revenue decreased 2.5%. They saw an increase in free cash flow and an increase in debt. That trend continues over the last 5 years too, where you see such a large increase in debt. It's always fascinating when you see companies that are bucking the debt trend. They're not paying it down, they're taking out more. And I think that's always such a funny challenge right now.
Ugh, if there's something that you guys got to learn during these times is, you got to pay attention to the debt levels, the long-term debt, the debt to equity, just because you don't want them to be so strapped. Just talk to a lot of these other players out there. But, it's a 253 billion market cap company here. Nestle's big. Let us know, by the way, before we jump into the DD stock screener, which focuses on the price to earnings ratio, the payout ratio, and the dividend growth. Do you guys own Nestle stock? Bert, I think it's time to find out if Nestle stock is a stock to buy right now in this all-time high stock market post this Fed rate cut. Is it time to add? It's not delivery. It's Nestle's dividend stock in your portfolio.
Yeah, their price is 97.10. Earnings per share is 553. PE ratio of 17.57. We're pulling all this from Seeking Alpha, and they do all the currency translation for you, which makes life a little bit easier, but it makes things inconsistent too, as you'll see throughout the rest of the stock screener.
Yeah, that 18 PE is not bad. That
No.
dividend payout ratio, again, when you take all their dividends up throughout the year, gotta love an international player, but we'll round it to $3.28. Looks like about 59% payout ratio, so just under our 60% ceiling threshold that we'd like to see. Pretty not
Yeah.
bad. Pretty for a
Yeah.
consumer company.
Yeah, and their 5-year dividend growth rate is 6.23%. I'm saying they've increased their dividend for 10 plus years. You zoom out the chart on Seeking Alpha, you see the trending up, and the only reason it dips is because of currency translation. So, yep, that's right. Lanny can just keep pointing there. He's going to start saying delete here soon, but he's just going to keep going as he keeps pointing the trend line going up for some reason. All right, and what's that yield, Chico? And how's it
Yeah.
stack with the 5-year one?
Hey, Chico, that dividend yield now, because they're down 16% this year, because they're down 18%, guys. Nestle, we didn't even talk. I mean, we didn't even talk about the chocolate chips and the chocolate they make, but
It's kind of implied in their name, right? That you just know Nestle has
yeah,
chocolate.
yeah. I mean, that and the Nescafe. But their yield is now up to 3.38%, which is big because they historically have yielded about 2.5% in their history, last 5 years. So you're able to grab a little bit more yield right now with Nestle stock.
All right, so taking a step back here, we're going to put the metrics up here. Are we going to be running to buy Nestle now that they are down so much and that yield is shooting up? No. One interesting thing, at least for me, I should say before I jump in and say no, they are an annual dividend payer. So they pay one dividend per year, which I always think is kind
There
of
it is.
funny, which is slightly annoying to me. I'm not going to lie. Consumer staples are hard. Consumer staples are not easy to figure out right now. The one thing that just scares me so much here with Nestle is that long-term debt trend. I just don't like the debt. I don't like that it's doubled, more than doubled, I should say, in the last 5 years. I get it. You're going to acquire brands, you're going to do everything. But how many of the consumer staples like Kraft Heinz have just been dragged down over the last 5 or so years because they just took on so much debt? And it scares me a little bit here with Nestle. And that's the main reason why I am not running in to buy them today. What do you think, Lanny?
The good thing is if rates come down and they have some maturities coming up, if that they can keep repricing shorter, you know, to keep repricing downward. That's what I would do. So Nestle, if you're watching the video, if you're
Cut down that
repricing that,
interest rate.
just go short because you'll be able to keep repricing downwards to improve that cash flow. But yeah, I probably would agree with you too, Bert. Just not a buyer right now. Nothing on the page outside of the brand portfolio screams like, hey, wow, it doesn't have the lowest PE, doesn't have the lowest payout ratio, it doesn't have the highest growth rate. They've got an above average dividend yield for now, which given the variability in the dividend that can kind of change. So not a buyer, but I think I see why you brought it to the table.
Yeah.
Definitely am a watcher. Didn't really take notice of the stock, so I'll have to keep my eyes on them.
Yeah, anytime a great dividend stock over 3%, down 16% over year to date, when the market's up almost 20%, you have to take a look at it and see. Sometimes it just doesn't turn into a buy. Not every analysis will. This one's going to turn into a pass from the two diplomats. Everybody, let us know, what do you think of Nestle? Are you buying Nestle right now? Have you bought them? Are you holding? What are your thoughts? Let us know in that comment section below.
Guys, come on. Let's get to financial freedom. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and let us know what you think of Nestle stock. Is this a stock to buy right now? Bert, hit him with the sweet chin music.
You're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert, the Hurt Man, and Lanny, legend from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.